going on, YouTube? It's your boy CJ, the Gym Slasher, back at it again. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Appreciate you guys for sticking around, showing me unconditional love, and I'm gonna give it right back. So let's get right into it. What is my Gym Peeve? What do we say? The max out, right? Now, what do you mean? I know the question is like, what's wrong with maxing out? Nothing is wrong with maxing out. The problem is with maxing out is a couple of things. Max outs gets misconstrued in terms of what's the importance and the why behind a max out, right? That's one thing. When are we using the max out? That's another thing, right? So let me give you an example of a peeve of mine. This is one of which that was that drives me nuts, and this has happened more often than not, enough for me to, case in point, for it to be a peeve. I understand when I'm in the gym, I don't mind the service of being a spotter for somebody maxing out. I don't mind it because I'm a trainer at heart. I'm a coach at heart. I want the safety of everybody around me at heart. So I don't have a problem with it per se. But there are times where I get extremely peeved when somebody that don't need a spot requests a spot. And I've never quite understand the why behind it. Let me give you an example, and I'm gonna tell you this is a factual story that happened. This happened more than often, but this time, this happened recently. Working out, guy asked me to come over to help spot him on the bench, and he's lifting the weight that he was needing for me to spot him was significant. It was over 225. So I'm going, oh, okay, all right. So for me as a spotter, and if you have ever spotted or if you haven't spotted, you need to ask some questions, right? A couple of questions that are usually pretty quick, within 30 seconds tops. How much reps? How many reps are you going for? What's your max? What you trying to shoot for? So that's the first one. Do you need a lift off? Meaning that, do you need me to assist with you lifting? Are we doing it on 1, 2, 3 lift? Are we doing it on, all right, I'm ready, just pull and lift? Do you want to lift at all, right? And then just a couple of parameters. I usually say, hey, listen, when you go off, my hand is going to be here, but I'm not going to touch the bar until you tell me to touch it. But my hand is going to be under. Once you go up, my hand is here, and it's just guiding as you come down. When you come up, my hand guides back, right? Those are generally my rule of thumbs on there. Another quick tip as well, if you are a sweater and you're the spotter, give yourself a quick wipe down before you go over there. I haven't seen this, but I've heard of people that spot and they perspire, and as they're standing over them, as they're helping them with their bench, sweat droplets drop down. That's just not good. So just make sure you wipe yourself, clean yourself down. If you're one of those sweat drippers, clean yourself and then assist. With that being said, so that's basically what I did. You know what I'm saying? I asked, all right, and so when he got to the bench and he's under there, and I said, how much you going for? I said, what's your number? What you going for? He said 8. And that was the first red flag that popped in my head. I'm going, 8. Okay. Now, can you max out high reps? Yes. If you are doing an endurance type of lift, meaning that you do high reps, you can max out. You can max your reps, meaning that, okay, I've been hitting at 15. Now I want to see if I could get to 20, right? And you want a max, or, some people do a spotter for burnouts. You know what I'm saying? They're just going as many as they can until till failure, right? You want a spotter and you want that. I get all of that. But if you at 8 for a max out, that's kind of iffy, right? So I'm already here. I said, all right, fine. We're going to shoot for 8. So in my mind, if you're maxing to 8, I don't care whatever your number of max is. I typically in my head going, you're probably hitting your plateau at 6. I'm going to cut 2 off. So if you're maxing for 1, I'm right under you. If you're saying, hey, I'm trying to do this 1 time, I'm under you as soon as you take that bar off. If I'm helping you lift, or if you got it, I'm here because you're only going 1. I'm not going to be on I think he got 2 in him, right? Anything other than that, I'm taking off 2 and I'm ready, right? So if you're 8, I'm going, okay, he must hit his plateau at 6. I'll be here as soon as he gets to his 6th one. Now I'm going to be really diligent in terms of, when he's going to hit his failure, if he does. So in my head, I said, okay, boom, you're at 8. Bet you. Got you. Cool. So he's going 1, 2, 3. He gets up to 6. Now I'm starting to kind of get in, but I'm recognizing his body. I've been looking at it, in terms of if he's in danger, if he needs help and all that. That's what I mean by looking at it. So he gets to 6 and I'm already realizing, man, he can get 8, because there's no break in form. There's no change in his breathing. He's going as if there's nothing else is happening. So I'm like, okay. He gets to 6. I realize that. 7, no problem. 8, no problem. Then he gets to 9. Then he gets to 10. No problem. And he racks the bar himself. He did 10. No problem. I did not do anything. And he gets up. Oh, thanks, man. Da, da, da. And I said, hey, man, it was all you. I didn't do anything. And I went back to my workout, but I was peeved. I was upset because I just went over here and watched you work out. That's it. I just watched you do a full set and you did not need it. And in fact, you did 2 more than that. That is a misuse of what a max out is. And that's a misuse of somebody coming off from them working out and helping the spotting. A week later, he did the same thing, but to a different guy. The guy would just happen to be right next to me. I was in between my workouts. He calls him over. Does the same thing. And I could see the look. I had my headphones in, so I could just see the body reaction and the facial expressions and all that of the spotter then. And he probably had the same, I probably had the same face he had that I seen. Frustration. Because he's kind of came back over kind of like, because he did the same thing. He did his max out. The guy didn't even spot him at all. He did it, boom, set it down. So I want you guys to think of the next time that gentleman there, somebody asks him, it could be different from a spot. It's a good chance he might go, I don't know. I'm busy, da, 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 or he may see that guy again and may not want to spot him. There may be a conversation. You know what I'm saying? If he was to ask me again, he hasn't since then. And I think he kind of caught the vibe that I gave him after that, because he seen me, but he skipped and went to somebody else, because it was simply because you just wasted my time. You know what I'm saying? A max out is important. A max out should be where you want assistance from somebody because you're not sure if you're going to get this. You're not sure you're going to hit that set, that rep. So when you ask somebody to come over from their workout, respect their time, respect their energy, respect them, because they're taking their time out to make sure that you are safe. And if you are doing a max out to where doesn't appear that you're in any danger, can really throw off a person is looking at you, and potentially the next person that somebody else is asking for a spot, they may not be as helpful, you know what I'm saying, because of what they did. A max out is important at the beginning of your workout and generally at the end of your workout regimen. So meaning if you got a 6-week, an 8-week, a 15, 16, 24-week workout regimen, your start, meaning that where you're at, and then at the tail end of your max out. Now, some, depending on how big your workout regimen, like if you got a 16-week workout, there's nothing wrong with maxing out. If you you'll know, your body is going to let you know as you're working out. And if you're doing it pretty consistent, you're going to start moving up in weights from where you started to where you're at. Your body is just going to do that. That's what it does, right? And so generally, if you're on, let's say, a 16-week program or a 12-week program, I'm not against maxing out in the middle, at the middle part of that before you get to the end, that last week of your workout. I'm not opposed to it. It just got to make sense, if that makes sense, right? I don't, because if you max out during that time, you may not have enough time to do another max between, your workout. So if you have a 16 week, maybe that fourth week, maybe between that, maybe 8th week, somewhere around there, it's got to be a drastic change to where you see it. Now, when you do your max should be between 1 rep and 3 reps. Shouldn't go over 4, 5, 6. Your max should be between 1 to 3. 3 is a stretch. Should be between that 1 and 2. But I'm fine with that third one because you got a spotter, you're hyped, you feel good. You may want to go for another one. No problem. But once you do your max, you have to reset, you have to recalibrate everything you lift. You cannot lift what you was lifting before your max. You have to be ready to move up to the next level because you're trying to push up your max and you're trying to push up, obviously, your strength. So if you get to your max is 225, or you're put up 225 and you're trying to get that for 1 to 3, and you get 2 on there. Now, once you rack that, the next time you come back to do your bench, whatever you was doing before has to be up, has to change. Either if you're putting 2.5 pounds more than what you did, or you're putting up 5 or 10 pounds. It's got to be between 2.5 and 10 pounds of more than what you've done before, because you're trying to push that max up. You're trying to get that back up there, and you're getting that allotted time. Whether if that's on your 4th week mark, your 8th week mark, onto a 16-week workout plan, to where when you come back on that 16th week, you should be when you get back to 225, you should be able to, lift that pretty easy, to say, dang, I was expecting 3, now I got 4 or 5. Okay, I need to recalibrate, or to add to that 225. That's why you want to get to there and, and start pushing that to see that when I come back, my max may be something different now. It may not be the 225, because now I didn't add it up. I've been adding up to where I've been already close to that. So now you want to see where you're at. Those are kind of like the important things when you are maxing out, to make sure. And obviously you want to make sure you have a spotter, which is the biggest, most important thing, but respecting that spotter's time and letting them know that, hey, I got 1 or 2, or I'm trying to get to this to try to move up. So my peeve overall is not so much the max, is how to utilize a person that's spotting you and respecting their time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to watch you just lift. Unless I'm being paid to train you, yes, then I am watching you lift. But as a regular gym goer, you're pulling that person from their time. Respect their time. Respect that they're using that time. I'm not here. That's cool. Great. You can lift over 225, 265. Salute. But you just took time away from me. When I lift, I have short time between sets. It's usually between 30 and 60 seconds between my lifts. So if I'm getting pulled away from that alters how my next workout is going to be. And I don't mind spotting you if it was worth something, but when it's not, oh yeah, I'm definitely peeved on that. So anyway, with that being said, that's my peeve. Who are you? What is your mission? I appreciate you guys for checking out yet another video. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. Show me some love, and I appreciate you guys. With that being said, it's your boy, the Gym Slasher. I'm out.